When I was a child, I got a copy of the Real Mother Goose nursery rhymes from Scholastic. Little Bo Peep. Little Bo Peep has lost her sheep and can't tell where to find them. Leave them alone and they'll come home and bring their tails behind them. Little Bo Peep fell fast asleep and dreamt she heard them bleating. But when she woke, she found it a joke, for still they all were fleeting. Then up she took her little crook, determined for to find them. She found them indeed, but it made her heart bleed, for they'd left all their tails behind them. It happened one day, as Bo Peep did stray unto a meadow hard by. There she espied their tails side by side, all hung on a tree to dry. She heaved a sigh and wiped her eye, and over the hillocks she raced, and tried what she could, as a shepherdess should, that each tail should be properly placed. So, like, someone cut off all their tails? I wonder if they, like, ate them, made, like, a soup or something. Little Boy Blue. Little Boy Blue, come blow your horn. The sheep's in the meadow, the cow's in the corn. Where's the little boy that looks after the sheep? Under the haystack, fast asleep. Hmm. Let's see. The clock. There's a neat little clock in the schoolroom it stands, and it points to the time with its two little hands. And may we, like the clock, keep a face clean and bright, with hands ever ready to do what is right. Winter. Cold and raw the north wind doth blow, bleak in the morning early. All the hills are covered with snow, and winter's now come fairly. Fingers and toes. Every lady in this land has 20 nails upon each hand, 5 and 20 on hands and feet. All this is true without deceit. Dame Trot and her cat. Dame Trot and her cat led a peaceable life when they were not troubled with other folks' strife. When Dame had her dinner, Pussy would wait and was sure to receive a nice piece from her plate. 3 children on the ice. 3 children sliding on the ice upon a summer day. As it fell out, they all fell in, the rest they ran away. Oh, had these children been at school or sliding on dry ground, 10,000 pounds to 1 penny, they had not then been drowned. Ye parents who have children dear, and ye too who have none, if you would keep them safe abroad, pray keep them safe at home. So, like, the ice was already mostly melted and they just popped on there and then they ended up falling into the lake and dying. Some of these Mother Goose ones, I understand why they're not as popular. Cross patch. Cross patch, draw the latch, sit by the fire and spin. Take a cup and drink it up, then call your neighbors in. The old woman under a hill. There was an old woman lived under a hill, and if she's not gone, she lives there still. Tweedledum and Tweedledee. Tweedledum and Tweedledee resolved to have a battle, for Tweedledum said Tweedledee had spoiled his new rattle. Just then flew by a monstrous crow, as big as a tar barrel, which frightened both the heroes so they quite forgot their quarrel. Old Mother Goose. Old Mother Goose, when she wanted to wander, would ride through the air on a very fine gander. Old Mother Goose, when she wanted to wander, would ride through the air on a very fine gander. Wander, gander, like they just like spelled them similar, not it's not rhymes. Little Jumping Joan. Here am I, little Jumping Joan. When nobody's with me, I'm always alone. Pat a cake. Pat a cake, pat a cake, baker's man. So I do, master, as fast as I can. Pat it and prick it and mark it with a T. Put it in the oven for Tommy and me. And then the picture is like 2 little kids. So this poor man has to call these little kids master. Money and the mare. Lend me thy mare to ride a mile. She is lamed, leaping over a stile. Alack, and I must keep the fare. I'll give thee money for thy mare. Oh, oh, say you so? Money will make the mare go. Will make the mare to go. So, like, somebody wanted to borrow the horse, and then the dude was like, no, my horse is broken. And then they're like, well, I got some money. And then all of a sudden, oh, no, it's a good horse. You should take it. Good deal. Robin Redbreast. Little Robin Redbreast sat upon a tree. Up went Pussycat, down went he. Down came Pussycat, away Robin ran. Says little Robin Redbreast, catch me if you can. Little Robin Redbreast jumped upon a spade. Pussycat jumped after him, and then he was afraid. Little Robin chirped and sang, and what did Pussy say? Pussycat said, mew, 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 and Robin flew away. A melancholy song. Trip upon trenchers and dance upon dishes. My mother sent me for some barm, some barm. She bid me go lightly and come back quickly, for fear the young men should do me some harm. Yet didn't you see what naughty tricks they put upon me? They broke my pitcher and spilt the water and huffed my mother and child her daughter and kissed my sister instead of me. Going to St. Ives. As I was going to St. Ives, I met a man with 7 wives. Every wife had 7 sacks. Every sack had 7 cats. Every cat had 7 kits. Kits, cats, sacks, and wives. How many were going to St. Ives? Well, you met a man with 7 wives. So 7, 7, 7, 7, and the dude. 30 days hath September. 30 days hath September, April, June, and November. February has 28 alone, all the rest have 31. Excepting leap year, that's the time when February's days are 29. Baby Dolly. Hush, baby, my dolly, I pray you don't cry, and I'll give you some bread and some milk by and by, or perhaps you like custard, or maybe a tart. Then to either you're welcome with all of my heart. Bees. A swarm of bees in May is worth a load of hay. A swarm of bees in June is worth a silver spoon. A swarm of bees in July is not worth a fly. Because I guess by then, probably the crops are all done, and you needed them earlier in the season. Come out to play. Girls and boys come out to play. The moon doth shine as bright as day. Leave your supper and leave your sleep, and come with your playfellows into the street. Come with the whoop, come with the call, come with the goodwill or not at all. Up the ladder and down the wall, a halfpenny roll will serve us all. You find milk and I'll find flour, and we'll have a pudding in half an hour. If wishes were horses, if wishes were horses, beggars would ride. If turnips were watches, I would wear one by my side. And if ifs and ands were pots and pans, there'd be no work for tinkers. To market. To market, to market, to buy a fat pig. Home again, jiggity jig. To market, to buy a fat hog. Home again, jiggity jog. To market, to buy a plum bun. Home again, market is done. Old chairs to mend. If I'd as much money as I could spend, I never would cry old chairs to mend. Old chairs to mend, old chairs to mend, I never would cry old chairs to mend. If I'd as much money as I could tell, I never would cry old clothes to sell. Old clothes to sell, old clothes to sell, I never would cry old clothes to old clothes to sell. Robin and Richard. Robin and Richard were 2 pretty men. They lay in bed till the clock struck 10. Then up starts Robin and looks at the sky. Oh, brother Richard, the sun's very high. You go before with the bottle and bag, and I will come after on little Jack Nag. A man and a maid. There was a little man who wooed a little maid, and he said, little maid, will you wed, wed, wed? I have little more to say, so will you, yea or nay? For least said is soonest mended, dead, dead, dead. The little maid replied, should I be your little bride? Pray what must we have for to eat, eat, eat? Will the flame that you're so rich in light a fire in the kitchen? Or the little god of love turn the spit, spit, spit? Here goes my lord, here goes my lord. Here goes my lord, a trot, a trot, a trot, a trot. Here goes my lady, a canter, a canter, a canter, a canter. Here goes my young master, jockey hitch, jockey hitch, jockey hitch, jockey hitch. Here goes my young miss, an amble, an amble, an amble, an amble. The footman lags behind to tipple ale and wine, and goes gallop a gallop a gallop to make up his time. So everybody else is gone. So the footman, he kind of lags behind. He gets a little drunk, and then he races after him to catch up. Clever little footman. The clever hen. I had a little hen, the prettiest ever seen. She washed me the dishes and kept the house clean. She went to the mill to fetch me some flour. She brought it home in less than an hour. She baked me my bread. She brewed me my ale. She sat by the fire and told many a fine tale. Two birds. There were two birds sat on a stone, fa la 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 dee. One flew away, and then there was one, fa la 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 dee. The other bird flew after, and then there was none, fa la 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 dee. And so the stone was left alone, fa la 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 dee. Leg over leg. Leg over leg, as the dog went to Dover. When he came to a stile, jump he went over. Lucy Locket. Lucy Locket lost her pocket. Kitty Fisher found it. Nothing in it, but the binding round it. Well, yeah, Kitty Fisher found it. But was it empty when she found it? Eh, that's a mystery that only Kitty Fisher knows. When Jenny Wren was young. 'Twas once upon a time when Jenny Wren was young. So daintily she danced and so prettily she sung. Robin Redbreast lost his heart, for he was a gallant bird. So he doffed his hat to Jenny Wren, requesting to be heard. Oh, dearest Jenny Wren, if you will but be mine, you shall feed on cherry pie and drink new currant wine. I'll dress you like a goldfinch or any peacock gay. So, dearest Jen, if you'll be mine, let us appoint the day. Jenny blushed behind her fan and thus declared her mind. Since, dearest Bob, I love you well, I'll take your offer kind. Cherry pie is very nice, and so is currant wine, but I must wear my plain brown gown and never go too fine. Barber. Barber, barber, shave a pig. How many hairs will make a wig? 24, that's enough. Give the dog barber a pinch of snuff. So you're going to use pig hair to make a wig? The flying pig. Dickory, dickory, dare, the pig flew up in the air. The man in brown who brought him down, dickory, dickory, dare. Solomon Grundy. Solomon Grundy, born on a Monday, christened on Tuesday, married on Wednesday, took ill on Thursday, worse on Friday, died on Saturday, buried on Sunday. This is the end of Solomon Grundy. Hush-a-bye. Hush-a-bye, baby, on the treetop. When the wind blows, the cradle will rock. When the bough breaks, the cradle will fall. Down will come baby, bough, cradle it all. Bernie B. Bernie B, tell me when your wedding be. If it be tomorrow day, take your wings and fly away. Three wise men of Gotham. Wasn't Solomon Grundy from Gotham too? Three wise men of Gotham went to sea in a bowl. If the bowl had been stronger, my song had been longer. I guess they died. The hunter of Rhea Gate. A man went a-hunting at Rhea Gate and wished to leap over a high gate. Says the owner, go around with your gun and your hound, for you never shall leap over my gate. Little Polly Flinders. Little Polly Flinders sat among the cinders, warming her pretty little toes. Her mother came and caught her, whipped her little daughter for spoiling her nice new clothes. Ride away, ride away. Ride away, Johnny shall ride, and he shall have Pussycat tied to one side, and he shall have Little Dog tied to the other, and Johnny shall ride to see his grandmother. Pippin Hill. As I was going up Pippin Hill was dirty. There I met a pretty miss, and she dropped me a curtsy. Little miss, pretty miss, blessing light upon you. If I had half a crown a day, I'd spend it all upon you. Pussycat and Queen. Pussycat, pussycat, where have you been? I've been to London to look at the Queen. Pussycat, pussycat, what did you there? I frightened a little mouse under the chair. The winds. Mr. East gave a feast. Mr. North laid the cloth. Mr. West did his best. Mr. South burst his mouth eating cold potato. Wait, let me do that again. Mr. East gave a feast. Mr. North laid the cloth. Mr. West did his best. Mr. South burnt his mouth eating cold potato. Why did he burn his mouth on a cold potato? clap handies, clap, clap handies, mammy's wee ain, clap, clap handies, daddy's coming hame. Hame till his bonny wee bit laddie, clap, clap handies, my wee ain. Christmas. Christmas comes but once a year, and when it comes, it brings good cheer. Elizabeth. Elizabeth, Elspeth, Betsy, and Bess. They all went together to seek a bird's nest. They found a bird's nest with 5 eggs in it. They all took one and left 4 in it. They all took one and left 4 in it. So it's all one girl. Just like me. I went up 1 pair of stairs, just like me. I went up 2 pairs of stairs, just like me. I went into a room, just like me. I looked out of a window, just like me. And there I saw a monkey, just like me. Play days. How many days has my baby to play? Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Hey ho, the carrion crow. A carrion crow sat on an old oak. Fold-a-riddle, loll-de-riddle, hi, ding, do. Watching a tailor shape his cloak. Sing, hey ho, the carrion crow. Fold-a-riddle, loll-de-riddle, hi, ding, do. Wife, bring me my old bent bow. Fold-a-riddle, loll-de-riddle, hi, ding, do, that I may shoot yon carrion crow. Sing hi ho, the carrion crow, fold-a-riddle, loll-de-riddle, hi ding do. I don't know, it's hi ding do or hi ding do. The tailor he shot and missed his mark, fold-a-riddle, loll-de-riddle, hi ding do, and shot his own sow quite through the heart. Sing hey ho, the carrion crow, hi de riddle, loll-de-riddle, hi ding do. Wife, bring brandy in a spoon. Fold-a-riddle, loll-de-riddle, hi ding do, for our old sow is in a swoon. Sing hi ho, the carrion crow. Fold-a-riddle, loll-de-riddle, hi ding do. A needle and thread. Old Mother Twitchit had but one eye and a long tail which she let fly, and every time she went through a gap, a bit of her tail she left in a trap. Banbury Cross. Ride a cock horse to Banbury Cross to see an old lady upon a white horse, rings on her fingers and bells on her toes. She shall have music wherever she goes. The man in our town. There was a man in our town, and he was a wondrous wise. He jumped into a bramble bush and scratched out both his eyes. But when he saw his eyes were out with all his might and main, he jumped into another bush and scratched them in again. Or maybe he grabbed somebody else's eyes. Georgie Porgy. Georgie Porgy, pudding and pie, kissed the girls and made them cry. When the boys came out to play, Georgie Porgy ran away. For every evil under the sun, there is a remedy or there is none. If there be one, seek till you find it. If there be none, never mind it. Let me say it again. For every evil under the sun, there is a remedy or there is none. If there be one, seek till you find it. If there be none, never mind it. Cushy cow, bonny, let down thy milk, and I will give thee a gown of silk and a silver tea, if thou wilt lay down thy milk to me. Wee Willie Winkie. Wee Willie Winkie runs through the town, upstairs and downstairs, in his nightgown, rapping at the window, crying through the lock, are the children in their beds? Now it's 8 o'clock. About the bush. About the bush, Willie, about the beehive, about the bush, Willie, I'll meet them alive. Seesaw. Seesaw, Marjorie Daw sold her bed and lay upon straw. Robin a Bobbin. Robin a Bobbin bent his bow, shot at a pigeon and killed a crow. John Smith. Is John Smith within? Yes, that he is. Can he set a shoe? Aye, marry, too. Here a nail, there a nail, tick, tack, chew. Simple Simon. Simple Simon met a pieman going to the fair. Says Simple Simon to the pieman, let me taste your ware. Says the pieman to Simple Simon, show me first your penny. Says Simple Simon to the pieman, indeed I have not any. Simple Simon went a fishing for to catch a whale. All the water he could find was in his mother's pail. Simple Simon went to look if plums grew on a thistle. He pricked his fingers very much, which made poor Simon whistle. He went to catch a dicky bird and thought he could not fail, because he had a little salt to put upon its tail. He went for water with a sieve, but soon it ran all through, and now poor Simple Simon bids you all adieu. Three blind mice. 3 blind mice. See how they run. They all ran after the farmer's wife, who cut off their tails with a carving knife. Did you ever see such a thing in your life as 3 blind mice? 5 toes. This little pig went to market. This little pig stayed at home. This little pig had roast beef. This little pig had none. This little pig said, wee, wee, I can't find my way home. And the funny thing is, when I was a kid and we would watch the stuff about the three little, the little pigs, they had it be the pigs having a great time. Like they were going to the market and buying stuff. One was at home cooking stuff in the kitchen. The other one was like eating a bunch of roast beef. And then it turned out that going to market meant that a pig was being slaughtered. Weird. A little man. There was a little man, and he had a little gun, and his bullets were made of lead, lead, lead. He went to the brook and saw a little duck and shot it right through the head, head, head. He carried it home to his old wife Joan and bade her a fire to make, to roast the little duck he had shot in the brook, and he'd go and fetch the drake, drake, drake. The drake was a-swimming with his curly tail. The little man made it his mark, mark, mark. He let off his gun, but he fired too soon, and the drake flew away with a quack, quack, quack. So it's lead, 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 head, 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 make, drake, 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 mark, 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 quack, quack, quack. They don't rhyme. Okay. Diddle, diddle, dumpling. Diddle, diddle, dumpling, my son John went to bed with his breeches on, one stocking off and one stocking on. Diddle, diddle, dumpling, my son John. Jerry Hall. Jerry Hall, he was so small, a rat could eat him, hat and all. So he was like an early Stuart Little. Lengthening days. As the days grow longer, the storms grow stronger. The black hen. Hickety pickety, my black hen, she lays eggs for gentlemen. Gentlemen come every day to see what my black hen doth lay. The mist. A hill full, a hole full, yet you cannot catch a bowl full. Makes sense. It's all around, but you can't put it in a bowl. A candle. Little Nanny Etticoat in a white petticoat and a red nose. The longer she stands, the shorter she grows. Miss Muffet. Little Miss Muffet sat on a tuffet, eating of curds and whey. There came a big spider and sat down beside her and frightened Miss Muffet away. Curly Locks. Curly locks, wilt thou be mine? Thou shalt not wash the dishes, nor yet feed the swine, but sit on a cushion and sew a fine seam, and feed upon strawberries, sugar, and cream. Humpty Dumpty. Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall. Humpty Dumpty had a great fall. All the king's horses and all the king's men cannot put Humpty Dumpty together again. And the picture they've got in the book is of the stereotypical pink egg man in a little gray suit falling off a wall. And then the thing in the poem is, it never says that Humpty Dumpty was an egg. That's just an assumption. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Once I caught a fish alive. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. But I let it go again. Why did you let it go? Because it bit my finger so. Which finger did it bite? The little one upon the right. The dove and the wren. The dove says, coo, coo, what shall I do? I can scarce maintain 2. Pooh, pooh, says the wren, I've got 10, and keep them all like gentlemen. Master I have. Master I have, and I am his man, gallop a dreary dun. Master I have, and I am his man, and I'll get a wife as fast as I can, with a highty, gaily, gamberally, higgledy, piggledy, niggledy, niggledy, gallop a dreary dun. Pins. See a pin and pick it up, all the day you'll have good luck. See a pin and let it lay, bad luck you'll have all the day. Shall we go a-shearing? Old woman, shall we go a-shearing? Speak a little louder, sir, I am very sick of hearing. Old woman, shall I kiss you dearly? Thank you, kind sir, I hear you very clearly. Goosey, goosey, gander. Goosey, goosey gander, whither thou dost wander. No, let me start again. Goosey, goosey gander. Goosey, goosey gander, whither dost thou wander? Upstairs and downstairs, and in my lady's chamber. There I met an old man who wouldn't say his prayers. I took him by the left leg and threw him down the stairs. So, goosey, goosey gander is like, don't mess with him or he'll murder you. Old Mother Hubbard. Old Mother Hubbard went to the cupboard to give her poor dog a bone, but when she got there, the cupboard was bare, and so the poor dog had none. She went to the baker's to buy him some bread. When she came back, the dog was dead. She went to the undertaker's to buy him a coffin. When she got back, the dog was laughing. She took a clean dish to get him some tripe. When she came back, he was smoking a pipe. She went to the alehouse to get him some beer. When she came back, the dog sat in a chair. She went to the tavern for white wine and red. When she came back, the dog stood on his head. She went to the hatter's to buy him a hat. When she came back, he was feeding the cat. She went to the barber's to buy him a wig. When she came back, he was dancing a jig. She went to the fruiterer's to buy him some fruit. When she came back, he was playing the flute. She went to the tailor's to buy him a coat. When she came back, he was riding a goat. She went to the cobbler's to buy him some shoes. When she came back, he was reading the news. She went to the sempster's to buy him some linen. When she came back, the dog was a spinning. She went to the hosier's to buy him some hose. When she came back, he was dressed in his clothes. The dame made a curtsy. The dog made a bow. The dame said, "Your servant." The dog said, "Bow wow." So she made the dog her master. So she went from, "Oh, I have a dog," to, "Oh, I'm just going everywhere and buying all kinds of stuff for this dog. He's not even grateful." So, he's a dog. My brother's dog wears a little coat. The cock and the hen. Cock, 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 cock. I've laid an egg. Am I to gang barefoot? Hen, 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 hen. I've been up and down to every shop in town and cannot find a shoe to fit your foot. If I'd crow my heart out. I don't, I don't know. Bluebell boy. I had a little boy and called him Bluebell. Gave him a little work, he did it very well. I bade him go upstairs to bring me a gold pin. In coal scuttle fell he up to his little chin. He went to the garden to pick a little sage. He tumbled on his nose and fell into a rage. He went to the cellar to draw a little beer, and quickly did return to say there was none there. So this kid is very clumsy and he's falling down and stumbling and doing all this stuff. So why isn't there any beer left? A little drunken bluebell. Why may not I? Why may not I love Johnny? Johnny shall have a new bonnet, and Johnny shall go to the fair, and Johnny shall have a blue ribbon to tie up his bonny brown hair. And why may not I love Johnny? And why may not Johnny love me? And why may not I love Johnny as well as another body? And here's a leg for a stocking, and here's a foot for a shoe, and he has a kiss for his daddy, and two for his mammy, I trow. And why may not I love Johnny, and why may not Johnny love me, and why may not and why may not I love Johnny as well as another body? Jack Jelf. Little Jack Jelf was put on the shelf because he could not spell pie. When his aunt, Mrs. Grace, saw his sorrowful face, she could not help saying, "Oh, fie." And since Mother Jelf was put on the shelf, oh, shit, let me start again. Jack Jelf. Little Jack Jelf was put on the shelf because he could not spell pie. When his aunt, Mrs. Grace, saw his sorrowful face, she could not help saying, "Oh, fie." And since Master Jelf was put on the shelf because he could not spell pie, let him stand there so grim, and no more about him, for I wish him a very good bye. Jack Sprat. Jack Sprat could eat no fat, his wife could eat no lean, and so betwixt them both they licked the platter clean. It's like you invite them to your dinner party, and then one eats one eats all the the fat, and the other one eats all the lean, and then together they just eat all your food. Hushaby, hushaby, baby, daddy is near. Mama is a lady, and that's very clear. Daffodils. Daffy down dilly has gone. Daffodils. Daffy Down Dilly has come to town in a yellow petticoat and a green gown. The girl in the lane. The girl in the lane that couldn't speak plain cried gobble, gobble, gobble. The man on the hill that couldn't stand still went hobble, hobble, hobble. Hush-a-bye. Hush-a-bye, baby, lie still with thy daddy. Thy mammy has gone to the mill to get some meal to bake a pie. So pray, my dear baby, lie still. So the mom is working and running around and doing all the stuff, and then the dad is just babysitting his child. Nancy Dawson. Nancy Dawson was so fine, she wouldn't get up to serve the swine. She lies in bed till 8 or 9. So it's, oh, poor Nancy Dawson. And do you ken Nancy Dawson, honey, the wife who sells the barley, honey? She won't get up to feed her swine. And do you ken Nancy Dawson? And do you ken Nancy Dawson, honey? Some of these almost seem like tongue twisters, but like I look at them and they should be easy to read. So it's just when you start reading that you're like, oh, it's stumbly bumbly. Handy Pandy. Handy Pandy, Jack a dandy, loves plum cake and sugar candy. He bought some at a grocer's shop, and out he came, hop, hop, hop. Jack and Jill. Jack and Jill went up the hill to fetch a pail of water. Jack fell down and broke his crown, and Jill came tumbling after. Then up Jack got, and off did trot, as fast as he could caper, to old Dame Dob, who patched his knob with vinegar and brown paper. So, like, when I was a kid and I first saw the Jack and Jill poem, like, cartoonified, he had a little gold crown or like a tin crown or something he was wearing on his head. And then he fell down and he was like, oh no, I broke it. And then, like, they took it to the lady and the lady just patched it up. And then it was only later that I realized that he cracked his head open. He broke his crown. He cracked his head wide open. And then, like, so he went to old Dame Dob, and then she just fixed his head by wiping it with vinegar and putting a piece of brown paper on it. The alphabet. A, B, C, and D. Pray, playmates agree. E, F, and G. Well, so it shall be. J, K, and L. In peace we will dwell. M, N, and O. To play let us go. P, Q, R, and S. Love may we possess. W, X, and Y. Will not quarrel or die. Z and ampersand. Go to school at command. Dance to your daddy. Dance to your daddy, my bonny laddie. Dance to your daddy, my bonny lamb. You shall get a fishy, oh, a little dishy. You shall get a fishy when the boat comes home. One misty, moisty morning. One misty, moisty morning, when cloudy was the weather, I chanced to meet an old man, clothed all in leather. He began to compliment, and I began to grin. How do you do, and how do you do, and how do you do again? I wonder if moist was considered an unpleasant word back then. Or if they were just like, oh, it's a normal word. Robin Hood and Little John. Robin Hood is in the mickle wood. Little John, he to the town is gone. Robin Hood, telling his beads, all in the greenwood among the green weeds. Little John, if he comes no more, Robin Hood, we shall fret full sore. Rain, 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 go to Spain and never come back again. Okay. And then they'll be like, oh no, why is there a drought? Well, because these kids kept saying all these nursery rhymes. The old woman from France. There came an old woman from France who taught grown-up children to dance, but they were so stiff, she sent them home in a sniff, the sprightly old woman from France. Teeth and gums. 30 white horses upon a red hill, now they tramp, now they champ, now they stand still. The robins. A robin and a robin's son once went to town to buy a bun. They couldn't decide on plum or plain, and so they went back home again. The old man. There was an old man in a velvet coat. He kissed a maid and gave her a groat. The groat it was cracked and would not go. Ah, old man, do you serve me so? So I think a groat is money. So, like, he's like, here's some money, little girl. Let me kiss you. Smoochy, smoochy. And then it turned out it was fake money or something. And she's like, really, dude, you cheated me. If all the seas were one sea. If all the seas were one sea, what a great sea that would be. And if all the trees were one tree, what a great tree that would be. And if all the axes were one axe, what a great axe that would be. And if all the men were one man, what a great man he would be. And if the great man took the great axe and cut down the great tree and let it fall into the great sea, what a splish splash that would be. To other little tune. I won't be my father's Jack, I won't be my father's Jill. I will be the fiddler's wife and have music when I will. To other little tune, to other little tune, prithee, love, play me to other little tune. My kitten, hey, my kitten, and hey, my kitten, my dearie. Such a sweet pet as this was neither far nor neary. Pancake day. Great A, little a, this is pancake day. Toss the ball high, throw the ball low. Those that come after may sing hi ho. A plum pudding, flower of England, fruit of Spain, met together in a shower of rain. Put in a bag tied round with a string. If you'll tell me this riddle, I'll give you a ring. Forehead, eyes, cheeks, nose, mouth, and chin. Here sits the Lord Mayor, here sits his two men, here sits the cock, here sits the hen, here sits the little chickens, here they run in. Chin chopper, chin chopper, chin chopper, chin. Two pigeons. I had two pigeons bright and gay. They flew from me the other day. What was the reason they did go? I cannot tell, for I do not know. Probably smell funny. A sure test. If you are to be a gentleman, as I suppose you'll be, you'll neither laugh nor smile for a tickling of the knee. Lock and key. I am a gold lock. I am a gold key. I am a silver lock. I am a silver key. I am a brass lock. I am a brass key. I am a lead lock. I am a lead key. I am a dawn key. I am a dawn lock. I am a dawn key. Oh, ho, ho, ho. Let me do that again. Lock and key. I am a gold lock. I am a gold key. I am a silver lock. I am a silver key. I am a brass lock. I am a brass key. I am a lead lock. I am a lead key. I am a dawn lock. I am a donkey. I guess that's a cute way to fool the little kids. The lion and the unicorn. The lion and the unicorn were fighting for the crown. The lion beat the unicorn all around the town. Some gave them white bread and some gave them brown. Some gave them plum cake and sent them out of town. The merchants of London. Hey diddly dink, hey diddle dinkety poppity pet. The merchants of London, they wear scarlet, silk in the collar and gold in the hem. So merrily march the merchant men. I'll tell you a story. I'll tell you a story about Jack and Nori, and now my story's begun. I'll tell you another about his brother, and now my story is done. A strange old woman. There was an old woman, and what do you think? She lived upon nothing but victuals and drink. Victuals and drink were the chief of her diet, and yet this old woman could never be quiet. I had a little husband. I had a little husband, no bigger than my thumb. I put him in a pint pot, and there I bid him drum. I bought a little handkerchief to wipe his little nose, and a pair of little garters to tie his little hose. To Babylon. How many miles is it to Babylon? 60 miles and 10. Can I get there by candlelight? Yes, and back again. If your heels are nimble and light, you may get there by candlelight. Ba ba black sheep. Ba ba black sheep, have you any wool? Yes, Mary, have I 3 bags full. One for my master, one for my dame, but none for the little boy who cries in the lane. Little Fred. When little Fred went to bed, he always said his prayers. He kissed Mamma and then Papa and straightaway went upstairs. Sleep, baby, sleep. Sleep, baby, sleep. Our cottage vale is deep. The little lamb is on the green, with woolly fleece so soft and clean. Sleep, baby, sleep. Sleep, baby, sleep. Down where the woodbines climb, down where the woodbines creep. Be always like the lamb so mild, a kind and sweet and gentle child. Sleep, baby, sleep. What the heck's a woodbine? Cry, baby. Cry, baby, cry. Put your finger in your eye and tell your mother it wasn't I. The cat and the fiddle. Hey diddle diddle, the cat and the fiddle. The cow jumped over the moon. The little dog laughed to see such sport, and the dish ran away with the spoon. Dr. Fell. I do not like thee, Dr. Fell. The reason why I cannot tell, but this I know and know full well. I do not like thee, Dr. Fell. counting out rhyme. Hickory dickory 6 and 7, alabony crackabony 10 and 11. Spin spun muskadun, twiddlem twaddlem 21. Guess somebody was playing some blackjack. Jack and his fiddle. Jacky, come and give me thy fiddle, if ever thou mean to thrive. Nay, I'll not give my fiddle to any man alive. If I should give my fiddle, they'll think that I've gone mad, for many a joyous day my fiddle and I have had. Buttons. Buttons a farthing a pair, come, who will buy them of me? They're round and sound and pretty, and fit for girls of the city. Come, who will buy them of me? Buttons a farthing a pair. Hot boiled beans. Ladies and gentlemen, come to supper. Hot boiled beans and very good butter. So they're eating hot boiled beans with butter in it, or hot boiled beans and then like bread with butter on it. Little pussy. I like little pussy. Her coat is so warm, and if I don't hurt her, she'll do me no harm. So I'll not pull her tail nor drive her away, but pussy and I very gently will play. Sing a song of sixpence. Sing a song of sixpence, a pocket full of rye, 4 and 20 blackbirds baked in a pie. When the pie was opened, the birds began to sing, was not that a dainty dish to set before the king? The king was in his counting house, counting out his money. The queen was in the parlor, eating bread and honey. The maid was in the garden, hanging out the clothes, when down came a blackbird and snapped off her nose. Like, they would make the pie and then they would put the live birds in it at the last step and then cover it over. And then when you cut the pie, the birds would fly out. And then like that was like a decoration. But like I assume the pie just like poop in the in the pie. But I guess it was some kind of marriage feast thing. Tommy Tittlemouse. Little Tommy Tittlemouse lived in a little house. He caught fishes and other men's stitches. Okay, kitty. The Derby Ram. As I was going to Derby all on a market day, I met the finest ram, sir, that ever was fed upon hay. Upon hay, upon hay, upon hay. I met the finest ram, sir, that ever was fed upon hay. This ram was fat behind, sir. This ram was fat before. This ram was 10 yards round, sir. Indeed, he was no more. No more, no more, no more. This ram was 10 yards round, sir. Indeed, he was no more. The horns that grew on his head, sir, they were so wondrous high, as I've been plainly told, sir, they've reached up to the sky. The sky, the sky, the sky, as I've been plainly told, sir, they reached up to the sky. The tail that grew from his back, sir, was 6 yards and an ell, and it was sent to Derby to toll the market bell. The bell, the bell, the bell, and it was sent to Derby to toll the market bell. So this poor ram got his tail cut off to make a bell pull. That seems great. I'm sure he was thrilled about that. You pour some more water. Okay. Let's see. The hobby horse. I had a little hobby horse, and it was dapple gray. Its head was made of pea straw, its tail was made of hay. I sold it to an old woman for a copper groat, and I'll not sing my song again without another coat. The mulberry bush. Here we go round the mulberry bush, the mulberry bush, the mulberry bush. Here we go round the mulberry bush on a cold and frosty morning. This is the way we wash our hands, wash our hands, wash our hands. This is the way we wash our hands on a cold and frosty morning. This is the way we wash our clothes, wash our clothes, wash our clothes. This is the way we wash our clothes on a cold and frosty morning. This is the way we go to school, go to school, go to school. This is the way we go to school on a cold and frosty morning. This is the way we come out of school, come out of school, come out of school. This is the way we come out of school on a cold and frosty morning. So they did all this stuff in one day and still got out of school, and it was still morning. They must have left house at like 3 o'clock in the morning. Young lambs to sell. If I'd as much money as I could tell, I never would cry young lambs to sell. Young lambs to sell, young lambs to sell. I never would cry young lambs to sell. Boy and the Sparrow. A little cock sparrow sat on a green tree, and he he chirruped, so merry was he. A naughty boy came with his wee bow and arrow, determined to shoot this little cock sparrow. This little cock sparrow shall make me a stew, and his giblet shall make me a little pie too. Oh no, said the sparrow, I won't make a stew. So he flapped his wings, and away he flew. Old woman, old woman. There was an old woman tossed in a basket 17 times as high as the moon, but where she was going no mortal could tell, for under her arm she carried a broom. Old woman, said I, whither, oh whither so high? To sweep the cobwebs from the sky, and I'll be with you by and by. The 1st of May. The first maid who, the 1st of May, goes to the field at break of day, and washes in dew from the hawthorn tree, will ever after handsome be. Like a trans-mask lullaby. Sulky Sue. Here's Sulky Sue, what shall we do? Turn her face to the wall till she comes to. The house that Jack built. This is the house that Jack built. This is the malt that lay in the house that Jack built. This is the rat that ate the malt that lay in the house that Jack built. This is the cat that killed the rat that ate the malt that lay in the house that Jack built. This is the dog that worried the cat that killed the rat that ate the malt that lay in the house that Jack built. This is the cow with the crumpled horn that tossed the dog that worried the cat that killed the rat that ate the malt that lay in the house that Jack built. This is the maiden all forlorn that milked the cow with the crumpled horn, that tossed the dog, that worried the cat, that killed the rat, that ate the malt that lay in the house that Jack built. This is the man all tattered and torn, that kissed the maiden all forlorn, that milked the cow with the crumpled horn, that tossed the dog, that worried the cat, that killed the rat, that ate the malt that lay in the house that Jack built. This is the priest all shaven and shorn, that married the man all tattered and torn, that kissed the maiden all forlorn, that milked the cow with the crumpled horn, that tossed the dog, that worried the cat, that killed the rat, that ate the malt that lay in the house that Jack built. This is the cock that crowed in the morn, that waked the priest all shaven and shorn, that married the man all tattered and torn, that kissed the maiden all forlorn, that milked the cow with the crumpled horn, that tossed the dog, that worried the cat, that killed the rat, that ate the malt that lay in the house that Jack built. This is the farmer sowing the corn, that kept the cock that crowed in the morn, that waked the priest all shaven and shorn, that married the man all tattered and torn, that kissed the maiden all forlorn, that milked the cow with the crumpled horn, that tossed the dog, that worried the cat, that killed the rat, that ate the malt that lay in the house that Jack built. So, like, this poor girl, some dude showed up and kissed her, and now she's got to marry him. I mean, why else would she be all forlorn? Saturday, Sunday. On Saturday night shall be all my care to powder my locks and curl my hair. On Sunday morning my love will come in, when he will marry me with a gold ring. Little Jenny Wren. Little Jenny Wren fell sick upon a time. In came Robin Redbreast and brought her cake and wine. Eat well of my cake, Jenny, drink well of my wine. Thank you, Robin, kindly, you shall be mine. Jenny, she got well and stood upon her feet and told Robin plainly she loved him not a bit. Robin, being angry, hopped upon a twig, saying, Out upon you, fie upon you, bold-faced jig. The Old Woman and the Peddler. There was an old woman, as I've heard tell, she went to market her eggs for to sell. She went to market all on a market day, and she fell asleep on the king's highway. There came by a peddler whose name was Stout. He cut her petticoat, he cut her petticoats all around her. He cut her petticoats up to the knees, which made the old woman to shiver and freeze. When the old woman first did wake, she began to shiver and she began to shake. She began to wonder and she began to cry, Lunk a mercy on me, this can't be I. But if it be I, as I hope it be, I've a little dog at home, and he'll know me. If it be I, he'll wag his little tail, and if it be not I, he'll loudly bark and wail. Home went the little woman all in the dark. Up got the little dog, and he began to bark. He began to bark, so she began to cry, Lauk a mercy on me, this is none of I. But like, she tried to go to market to sell her eggs. And then she went there and she was all tired after selling all day. And then she fell asleep on the side of the road. And then a peddler came by and he cut all her dress up, probably to sell the fabric. Because people would buy the fabric scraps and make their own thing. So he could probably got some good money. Bobby Snooks. Little Bobby Snooks was fond of his books. Oh, Snooks books. Bobby Snooks. Little Bobby Snooks was fond of his books and loved by his usher and master. But naughty Jack Spry, he got a black eye and carries his nose in a plaster. The little moppet. I had a little moppet, I put it in my pocket and fed it with corn and hay. There came a proud beggar and swore he should have her and stole my little moppet away. What is a moppet? From the illustration, I'm assuming a moppet was a doll. Like, this girl fed it with corn and hay, so maybe it was some kind of animal. And then that beggar just went and ate it. Oopsie doopsie, little girl. Bat, bat. Bat, bat, come under my hat, and I'll give you a slice of bacon. And when I bake, I'll give you a cake, if I am not mistaken. A walnut. As soft as silk, as white as milk, as bitter as gall, a strong wall, and a green coat covers me all. I saw a ship a-sailing. I saw a ship a sailing on the sea, and oh, it was all laden with pretty things for thee. There were comfits in the cabin, and apples in the hold. The sails were made of silk, and the masts were made of gold. The 24 sailors that stood between the decks were 24 white mice with chains about their necks. The captain was a duck with a packet on his back, and when the ship began to move, the captain said, "Quack, quack." The man in the moon. The man in the moon came tumbling down and asked the way to Norwich. He went by the south and burnt his mouth with eating cold peas porridge. Like, all these people keep burning their mouths eating cold stuff. Like, how is that possible? Mother Goose, you make no sense. One he loves, one he loves, two he loves, three he loves, they say. Four he loves with all his heart, five he casts away. Six he loves, seven she loves, eight they both love, nine he comes, 10 he tarries, 11 he courts, 12 he marries. This guy's got like a whole string of ladies. 12 of them. Hark, hark. Hark, hark, the dogs do bark. Beggars are coming to town. Some in jags, and some in rags, and some in velvet gown. Well, that makes sense. Because, like, sometimes rich people show up and they look all rich and fancy, so you let them in and they do all the stuff or whatever, but then at the end, when they leave, somehow they've ended up with everybody else's money and, they're even more richer. The heart. The heart, he loves the high wood. The hare, she loves the hill. The knight, he loves his bright sword. The lady loves her will. My love. Saw ye aught of my love a-coming from the market, a peck of meal upon her back, a baby in her basket? Saw ye aught of my love a-coming from the market? Oh. So this guy, he's waiting for his lady to come home with their baby. She went to the store, and then she hasn't shown up. That's spooky. The man of Bombay. There was a fat man of Bombay who was smoking one sunshiny day, when a bird called a snipe flew away with his pipe, which vexed the fat man of Bombay. Poor old Robinson Crusoe. Poor old Robinson Crusoe. Poor old Robinson Crusoe. They made him a coat of an old nanny goat. I wonder why they should do so. With a ring-a-ting-tang and a ring-a-ting-tang, poor old Robinson Crusoe. A sieve. A riddle, as I suppose, 100 eyes and never a nose. But that Robinson Crusoe one, imagine like the people making up the Mother Goose rhymes or gathering them together, heard the story of Robinson Crusoe and like maybe saw it in a newspaper or something, but like it's crazy how stories would spread even without, modern news. My maid Mary, she minds the dairy, while I go a hoeing and mowing each morn. Gaily run the reel and the little spinning a wheel, while I am singing and mowing my corn. A difficult rhyme. What is the rhyme for porringer? The king he had a daughter fair, and gave the prince of Orange her. Oh, because you're saying that orange is hard to rhyme. Pretty John Watts. Pretty John Watts, we are troubled with rats. Will you drive them out of the house? We have mice too in plenty that feast in the pantry, but let them stay and nibble away. What harm in a little brown mouse? I say no to that. I got Rad X and like I guess a rat has to eat like a couple pieces, but a mouse only needs to eat like half of the little pellets, and then all of a sudden it's quiet. it's it's some kind of, I think maybe corn. They took some grain and then they put some regular something on it, and I guess rodents, they have in their brain chemistry that if they eat this stuff, then their body signals tell them that they don't need to drink. So, like, they have no sense of thirst. So they keep running around and doing whatever, but they never drink any water, and then they just dry out. And the Radex, it still keeps desiccating them on the inside. So you're not supposed to have smelly dead mouse bodies or anything. Well, I used some throw packs and I threw them under the house, and my mouse problem went away. Good advice. Come when you're called, do what you're bid, shut the door after you, and never be chid. I love sixpence. I love sixpence, a jolly, jolly sixpence. I love sixpence as my life. I spent a penny of it, I spent a penny of it. I took a penny home to my wife. Oh, my little fourpence, a jolly, jolly fourpence. I love fourpence as my life. I spent 2 pence of it, I spent 2 pence of it, and I took 2 pence home to my wife. Bye, baby bunting. Bye, baby bunting. Father's gone a hunting, mother's gone a milking, sister's gone a silking, and brother's gone to buy a skin to wrap the baby bunting in. So, like, everybody went off to do whatever, thinking about the baby, and they they just left the baby there all by himself. Tom, Tom, the piper's son. Tom, Tom, the piper's son, stole a pig, and away he run. The pig was eat, and Tom was beat, and Tom ran crying down the street. Comical folk. In a cottage in Fife lived a man and his wife, who, believe me, were comical folk. For, to people's surprise, they both saw with their eyes, and their tongues moved whenever they spoke. When they were asleep, I'm told that to keep their eyes open they could not contrive. They both walked on their feet, and 'twas thought what they eat helped with drinking to keep them alive. So they're just normal people. Cock crow. Cocks crow in the morn to tell us to rise, and he who lies late will never be wise. For early to bed and early to rise is the way to be healthy and wealthy and wise. Tommy Snooks, books, Snooks, Tommy Snooks. As Tommy Snooks and Bessie Brooks were walking out one Sunday, says Tommy Snooks to Bessie Brooks, "Wilt marry me on Monday?" The three sons. There was an old woman had 3 sons, Jerry and James and John. Jerry was hanged, James was drowned, John was lost and never was found, and there was an end of her 3 sons, Jerry and James and John. A poor old lady. She only had 3 kids and they all died. I don't know if that would, you know, looked upon as part of her parenting. But I don't know. Something was going on there. Okay. 2 gray kits. The 2 gray kits and the gray kit's mother all went over the bridge together. The bridge broke down, they all fell in. May the rats go with you, says Tom Bolin. 1, 2, buckle my shoe. 1, 2, buckle my shoe. 3, 4, knock at the door. 5, 6, pick up sticks. 7, 8, lay them straight. 9, 10, a good fat hen. 11, 12, dig and delve. 13, 14, maids a courting. 15, 16, maids in the kitchen. 17, 18, maids awaiting. 19, 20, my plate's empty. It's like at the end, they're just like 1920, we're not even going to try. Cock-a-doodle-doo. Cock-a-doodle-doo, my dame has lost her shoe. My master has lost his fiddlestick, and he knows not what to do. Cock-a-doodle-doo, what is my dame to do? Till master finds his fiddlestick, she'll dance without her shoe. So, okay. Pair, pairs or pairs. 12 pairs hanging high, 12 knights riding by. 8 each knight took a pair, and yet left a dozen there. Belle-Isle. At the siege of Belle-Isle, I was there all the while, all the while, all the while, at the siege of Belle-Isle. Old King Cole. Old King Cole was a merry old soul, and a merry old soul was he. He called for his pipe, and he called for his bowl, and he called for his fiddlers three. And every fiddler he had a fine fiddle, and a very fine fiddle had he. Twee tweedledee, tweedledee went the fiddlers. Oh, there's none so rare as can compare with King Cole and his fiddlers three. Hmm. See, what shall I see? A horse's head where his tail should be. Dapple Gray. I had a little pony, his name was Dapple Gray. I lent him to a lady to ride a mile away. She whipped him, she slashed him, she rode him through the mire. I would not send my I would not lend my pony now for all the lady's hire. Oh, and then the picture is like a little boy, and he let this lady in a fancy clothes take his little pony. Oh well, as round as an apple, as deep as a cup, and all the king's horses can't fill it up. Coffee and tea. Molly, my sister, and I fell out, and what do you think it was all about? She loved coffee, and I loved tea, and that was the reason we couldn't agree. Pussy-cat Mew. Pussy-cat Mew jumped over a coal, and in her best petticoat burnt a great hole. Poor Pussy's weeping, she'll have no more milk, until her best petticoat's mended with silk. The little girl with a curl. There was a little girl who had a little curl right in the middle of her forehead. When she was good, she was very, very good, and when she was bad, she was horrid. Dreams. Friday night's dream on Saturday told is sure to come true, be it never so old. A cock and bull story. The cock's on the housetop blowing his horn, the bull's in the barn a threshing of corn, the maids in the meadows are making of hay, the ducks in the river are swimming away. For baby, you shall have an apple, you shall have a plum, you shall have a rattle when papa comes home. Myself. As I walked by myself and talked to myself, myself said unto me, Look to thyself, take care of thyself, for nobody cares for thee. I answered myself and said to myself in the self same repartee, Look to thyself, or not look to thyself, the self same thing will be. Over the water, and over the sea, and over the water to Charlie. I'll have none of your nasty beef, nor I'll have none of your barley, but I'll have some of your very best flour to make a white cake from my Charlie. Candle saving. To make your candles last for wait, to make your candles last for you wives and maids give earo. To put them out's the only way, says honest John Boldero. And it's like this old guy wearing an old timey robe and whatever, but his little house looks like Stan from, and his little hat looks like Stan's knit cap from South Park. Fears and tears. Tommy's tears and Mary's fears will make them old before their years. The Kilkenny cats. There were once two cats of Kilkenny. Each thought there was one cat too many. So they fought and they fit and they scratched and they bit till, excepting their nails and the tips of their tails, instead of two cats, there weren't any. So they killed themselves. Oh, old Grimes. Old Grimes is dead, that good old man. We never shall see him more. He used to wear a long brown coat, all buttoned down before. A week of birthdays. Monday's child is fair of face. Tuesday's child is full of grace. Wednesday's child is full of woe. Thursday's child has far to go. Friday's child is loving and giving. Saturday's child works hard for its living. But the child that's born on the Sabbath day is bonny and blithe and good and gay. A chimney, black within and red without, four corners round about. The ladybird. Ladybird, ladybird, fly away home. Your house is on fire, your children are gone, all but one, and her name's Anne, and she crept under the pudding pan. The man who had not. There was a man, and he had not, and robbers came to rob him. He crept up to the chimney pot, and then they thought they had him. But he got down on the other side, and then they could not find him. He ran 14 miles in 15 days and never looked behind him. 14 miles in 15 days? The tailors and the snail. 24 tailors went to kill a snail. The best man among them durst not touch her tail. She put out her horns like a little Kylo cow. Run, tailors, run, or she'll kill you all even now. But it's a snail. Around the green gravel. Around the green gravel the grass grows green, and all the pretty maids are plain to be seen. Wash them with milk, and clothe them with silk, and write their names with a pen and ink. Inchery mintery, inchery mintery, cute cuttery corn, apple seed and apple thorn, wire, briar, limberlock, 5 geese in a flock, sit and sing by a spring, out and in again, or out and in again. Caesar song, bow wow wow, whose dog art thou? Little Tom Tinker's dog, bow wow wow. As I was going along, as I was going along, a singing a comical song. The lane that I went was so long, and the song that I sang was so long, and so I went singing along. Hector Protector. Hector Protector was dressed all in green. Hector Protector was sent to the queen. The queen did not like him, no more did the king, so Hector Protector was sent back again. I'm glad it could have been so Hector Protector was never again seen. Then it becomes like a Westeros story. Billy, 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 come and play while the sun shines bright as day. Yes, my Polly, so I will, for I love to please you still. Billy, Billy, have you seen Sam and Betsy on the green? Yes, my Paul, I saw them pass, skipping over the new mown grass. Billy, Billy, come along, and I will sing a pretty song. Rockabye baby, rockabye baby, like Kate. Let me do it again. Rockabye baby, rockabye baby, thy cradle, rockabye baby, thy cradle is green. Father's a nobleman, mother's a queen, and Betty's a lady and wears a gold ring, and Johnny's a drummer and drums for the king. The man in the wilderness. The man in the wilderness asked me how many strawberries grew in the sea. I answered him as I thought good, as many as red herrings grew in the wood. Little Jack Horner. Little Jack Horner sat in the corner eating of Christmas pie. He put in his thumb and pulled out a plum and said, "What a good boy am I." The bird scarer. Away, birds, away. Take a little and leave a little, and do not come again. For if you do, I will shoot you through, and there will be an end of you. Mary, Mary, quite contrary. Mary, Mary, quite contrary. How does your garden grow? Silver bells and cockle shells and pretty maids all of a row. Bessie Bell and Mary Gray. Bessie Bell and Mary Gray, they were two bonny lasses. They built their house upon the lea and covered it with rushes. Bessie kept the garden gate and Mary kept the pantry. Bessie always had to wait while Mary lived in plenty. Oh, so Bessie, she's all growing and doing all the stuff, and then the other ladies just got everything. Needles and pins, needles and pins, needles and pins. When a man marries, his trouble begins. Pussycat and the dumplings. Pussycat ate the dumplings, the dumplings. Pussycat ate the dumplings. Mamma stood by and cried, "Oh, Fee, why did you eat the dumplings?" Dance, thumbkin, dance. Dance, thumbkin, dance. What? Keep the thumb in motion, all the fingers in motion, the thumb alone. I'm going to skip this one. I don't know. Mary's canary. Mary had a pretty bird, feathers bright and yellow, slender legs, upon my word, he was a pretty fellow. The sweetest note he always sung, which much delighted Mary. She often where the cage was hung, sat hearing her canary. The little bird. Once I saw a little bird come hop, hop, hop. So I cried, "Little bird, will you stop, stop, stop?" And I was going to the window to say, "How do you do?" But he shook his little tail, and far away he flew. Birds of a feather. Birds of a feather flock together, and so will pigs and swine. Rats and mice will have their choice, and so will I have mine. The dusty miller. Margaret wrote a letter, sealed it with her finger, threw it in the dam for the dusty miller. Dusty was his coat, dusty was the siller, dusty was the kiss I'd from the dusty miller. If I had my pockets full of gold and silver, I would give it all to be my dusty. I would give it all to my dusty miller. A star, higher than a house, higher than a tree. Oh, whatever can that be? The greedy man. The greedy man is he who sits and bites bits out of plates, or else takes up an almanac and gobbles all the dates. The 10 o'clock scholar. A diller, a dollar, a 10 o'clock scholar. What makes you come so soon? You used to come at 10 o'clock, but now you come at noon. Cock-a-doodle-doo. Oh, my pretty cock, oh, my handsome cock, I pray you, do not crow before day, and your comb shall be made of the very beaten gold, and your wings of the silver so gray. An icicle lives in winter, dies in summer, and grows with its roots upward. A ship's nail, over the water and under the water, and always with its head down. The old woman of Leeds. There was an old woman of Leeds who spent all her time in good deeds. She worked for the poor till her fingers were sore, this pious old woman of Leeds. The boy in the barn. A little boy went into a barn and lay down on some hay. An owl came out and flew about, and the little boy ran away. Sunshine. Hickamore, on the king's kitchen door, all the king's horses and all the king's men couldn't drive Hackamore off the king's kitchen door. Willy Willy. Willy Willy Winkin. Oh, Willy Wilkin kissed the maids a milkin, fa la la, and with his merry daffing he set them all a laughing, ha ha ha. I guess the ladies weren't mad about him kissing them all. The Quirrell. My little old man and I fell out. I'll tell you what 'twas all about. I had money and he had none, and that's the way the noise begun. The Pumpkin Eater. Peter, Pumpkin Eater, had a wife and couldn't keep her. He put her in a pumpkin shell, and there he kept her very well. Tongs. Long legs, crooked thighs, little head, and no eyes. Jack Jingle. Little Jack Jingle, he used to live single, but when he got tired of this kind of life, he left off being single and lived with his wife. Now, what do you think of little Jack Jingle? Before he was married, he used to live single. That's all. There was an old woman sat spinning, and that's the first beginning. She had a calf, and that's half. She took it by the tail and threw it over the wall, and that's all. Shoeing. Shoe the colt, shoe the colt, shoe the wild mare. Here a nail, there a nail, yet she goes bare. I think they put all the popular ones at the beginning of the book, and then now these are just like the leftovers. Betty Blue. Little Betty Blue lost her holiday shoe. What shall little Betty do? Give her another to match the other, and then she'll walk upon two. Why are you going crazy, Cat? Really, what are you going to do? Yeah, what are you trying to do? Like, settle down. Going crazy. Bedtime. The man in the moon looked out of the moon, looked out of the moon, and said, "'Tis time for all children on the earth to think about getting to bed." Dance, little baby. Dance, little baby, dance up high. Never mind, baby, mother is by. Crow and caper, caper and crow. There, little baby, there you go. Up to the ceiling, down to the ground, backwards and forwards, round and round. Dance, little baby, and mother will sing with the merry choral, ding, ding, ding. My little maid. Hi diddle doubt, my candle's out. My little maid is not at home. Saddle my hog and bridle my dog, and fetch my little maid home. For want of a nail. For want of a nail, the shoe was lost. For want of the shoe, the horse was lost. For want of the horse, the rider was lost. For want of the rider, the battle was lost. For want of the battle, the king was lost, and for all the want of a horseshoe nail. Peas porridge. Peas porridge hot, peas porridge cold, peas porridge in the pot 9 days old. Some like it hot, some like it cold, some like it in the pot 9 days old. Ring around, ring a roses. Ring a roses, a pocket full of posies. Tisha, Tisha, we all fall down. The crooked sixpence. There was a crooked man, and he went a crooked mile. He found a crooked sixpence beside a crooked stile. He bought a crooked cat, which caught a crooked mouse, and they all lived together in a little crooked house. This is the way. This is the way the ladies ride. Tree, tray, tray, tree. Tree, tray, tray, tree. This is the way the ladies ride. Tree, tray, tray, tree, tray, tray, tree. This is the way the gentlemen ride. Gallop a trot, gallop a trot. This is the way the gentlemen ride. Gallop a trot, gallop a trot. This is the way the farmers ride. Hobbledy-hoy, hobbledy-hoy. This is the way the farmers ride. Hobbledy-hobbledy-hoy. Ducks and drakes. A duck and a drake and a halfpenny cake, with a penny to pay the old baker. A hop and a scotch is another notch. Slitherum, slatherum, take her. The donkey. Donkey, donkey, old and gray, ope your mouth and gently bray. Lift your ears and blow your horn to wake the world this sleepy morn. If. If all the world were apple pie, and all the sea were ink, and all the trees were bread and cheese, what should we have for drink? The bells. You owe me 5. This cat is going crazy. The bells. You owe me 5 shillings, say the bells of St. Helen. When will you pay me? Say the bells of Old Bailey. When I grow rich, say the bells of Shoreditch. When will that be? Say the bells of Stepney. I do not know, says the great bell of Bow. 2 sticks and an apple ring the bells of Whitechapel. Halfpence and farthings, say the bells of St. Martin's. Kettles and pans, say the bells of St. Anne's. Brickbats and tiles, say the bells of St. Giles. Old shoes and slippers, say the bells of St. Peter's. Pokers and tongs, say the bells of St. John's. Little girl and queen. Little girl, where have you been? Gathering roses to give to the queen. Little girl, what gave she you? She gave me a diamond as big as my shoe. The King of France. The King of France went up the hill with 20,000 men. The King of France came down the hill and never went up again. Peter Piper. Let's wait. So the King of France was the one who went up the hill? I thought it was the Grand Old Duke of York. Anyway, Peter Piper. Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers. A peck of pickled peppers Peter Piper picked. If Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers, where's the peck of pickled peppers Peter Piper picked? Maybe he ate them. 1 to 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I caught a hare alive. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I let her go again. An equal. Read my riddle, I pray. What God never sees, what the king seldom sees, what we see every day. The tarts. The queen of tarts, she made some heart. Okay, sorry. The tarts. The queen of hearts, she made some tarts all on a summer day. The knave of hearts, he stole the tarts and took them clean away. The king of hearts called for the tarts and beat the knave full sore. The knave of hearts brought back the tarts and vowed he'd steal no more. Come, let's to bed. To bed, says Sleepyhead. Tarry a while, so slow. Put on the pan, says Greedy Nan. We'll sup before we go. Little maid, little maid, pretty maid, whither goest thou? Down in the forest to milk my cow. Shall I go with thee? No, not now. When I send for thee, then come thou. What are little boys made of? What are little boys made of? Made of. What are little boys made of? Snaps and snails and puppy dog tails, and that's what little boys are made of. What are little girls made of? Made of. What are little girls made of? Sugar and spice and all that's nice, and that's what little girls are made of. Bandy legs. As I was going to sell my eggs, I met a man with bandy legs and crooked toes. I tripped up his heels and he fell on his nose. So this poor guy is just walking, minding his business, and then this egg seller dude just knocks him over. Okay. The Girl and the Birds. When I was a little girl, about 7 years old, I hadn't got a petticoat to cover me from the cold. So I went into Darlington, that pretty little town, and there I bought a petticoat, a cloak, and a gown. I went into the woods and built me a kirk, and all the birds of the air, they helped me to work. The hawk with his long claws pulled down the stone. The dove with her rough bill brought me them home. The parrot was the clergyman. The peacock was the clerk. The bullfinch played the organ. We made merry work. A pig. As I went to Bonner, I met a pig without a wig, upon my word and honor. Jenny Wren. As little Jenny Wren was sitting by her shed, she waggled with her tail and nodded with her head. She waggled with her tail and nodded with her head as little Jenny Wren was sitting by the shed. Wait. Is Jenny Wren the one that tricked Robin Redbreast into bringing her a bunch of stuff? And he took care of her when she was sick, and then she was like, oh, yeah, cool. Thanks for the help, bro. Bye. Little Tom Tucker. Little Tom Tucker sings for his supper. What shall he eat? White bread and butter. How will he cut it without ever a knife? How will he be married without ever a wife? Where are you going, my pretty maid? Where are you going, my pretty maid? I'm going a milking, sir, she said. May I go with you, my pretty maid? You're kindly welcome, sir, she said. What is your father, my pretty maid? My father's a farmer, sir, she said. What is your fortune, my pretty maid? My face is my fortune, sir, she said. Then I can't marry you, my pretty maid. Nobody asked you, sir, she said. The old woman of Gloucester. There was an old woman of Gloucester, whose parrot 2 guineas it cost her, but its tongue never ceasing was vastly displeasing to the talkative woman of Gloucester. Gloucester. Multiplication is vexation. Multiplication is vexation. Division is as bad. The rule of 3 doth puzzle me, and practice drives me mad. Little King Boggin. Little King Boggin, he built a fine hall, pie crust and pasty crust, that was the wall. The windows were made of black puddings and white, and slated with pancakes, you never saw the like. Whistle, whistle, daughter, whistle, whistle, daughter dear. I cannot whistle, mammy, I cannot whistle clear. Whistle, daughter, whistle, whistle for a pound. I cannot whistle, mammy, I cannot make a sound. Bell horses, what time of day? 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, three and away. Taffy. Taffy was a Welshman, Taffy was a thief. Taffy came to my house and stole a piece of beef. I went to Taffy's house, Taffy was not home. Taffy came to my house and stole a marrow bone. I went to Taffy's house, Taffy was not in. Taffy came to my house and stole a silver pin. I went to Taffy's house, Taffy was in bed. I took up the marrow bone and flung it at his head. The Robin. The north wind doth blow, and we shall have snow, and what will poor Robin do then, poor thing? He'll sit in a barn and keep himself warm, and hide his head under his wing, poor thing. The old woman of Harrow. There was an old woman of Harrow, who visited in a wheelbarrow, and her servant before knocked loud at each door to announce the old woman of Harrow. Young Roger and Dolly. Young Roger came tapping at Dolly's window. Thumpity, thumpity, thump. He asked for admittance. She answered him no. Frumpity, frumpity, frump. No, no, Roger, no. As you came, you may go. Stumpity, stumpity, stump. The piper and his cow. There was a piper had a cow, and he had naught to give her. He pulled out his pipes and played her a tune, and bade the cow consider. The cow considered very well, and gave the piper a penny, and bade him play the other tune, Corn rigs are bonny. I don't even think that penny bonny. I don't think it rhymed at all. The man of Derby. A little old man of Derby, how do you think he served me? He took away my bread and cheese, and that is how he served me. The coachman. Up at Piccadilly, oh, the coachman takes his stand, and when he meets a pretty girl, he takes her by the hand. Whip away forever, oh, drive away so clever, oh, all the way to Bristol, oh, he drives her four in hand. There was an old woman. There was an old woman who lived in a shoe. She had so many children she didn't know what to do. She gave them some broth without any bread. She whipped them all soundly and sent them to bed. A thorn. I went to the wood and got it. I sat me down to look for it and brought it home because I couldn't find it. The old woman of Surrey. There was an old woman in Surrey who was morn, noon, and night in a hurry, called her husband a fool, drove the children to school, the worrying old woman of Surrey. The little mouse. I have seen you, little mouse, running all about the house, through the hole your little eye, in the wainscot, peeping shy. Peeping sly. Okay, let me start again. The little mouse. I have seen you, little mouse, running all about the house, through the hole your little eye, in the wainscot, peeping sly, hoping soon some crumbs to steal, to make quite a hearty meal. Look before you venture out, see if pussy is about. If she's gone, you'll quickly run to the larder for some fun. Round about the dishes creep, talking, taking into each a peep, to choose the daintiest that's there, spoiling things you do not care. Boy and girl. There was a little boy and a little girl lived in an alley. Says the little boy to the little girl, shall I, oh shall I? Says the little girl to the little boy, what shall we do? Says the little boy to the little girl, I will kiss you. When? When I was a bachelor, I lived by myself, and all the bread and cheese I got laid up on the shelf. The rats and the mice, they made such a strife, I was forced to go to London to buy me a wife. The streets were so bad and the lanes were so narrow, I was forced to bring my wife home in a wheelbarrow. The wheelbarrow broke, and my wife had a fall. Down came wheelbarrow, little wife and all. And then later he probably knocked his baby out of the tree. Sing, 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 what shall I sing? Cats run away with the pudding string. Do, do, what shall I do? The cat has bitten it quite in two. London Bridge. London Bridge is broken down. Dance over my Lady Lee. London Bridge is broken down with a gay lady. How shall we build it up again? Dance over my Lady Lee. How shall we build it up again with a gay lady? Build it up with silver and gold. Dance over my Lady Lee. Build it up with silver and gold with a gay lady. Silver and gold will be stole away. Dance over by my Lady Lee. Silver and gold will be stole away with a gay lady. Build it up with iron and steel. Dance over my Lady Lee. Build it up with iron and steel with a gay lady. Iron and steel will bend and bow. Dance over my Lady Lee. Iron and steel steel will bend and bow with a gay lady. Build it up with wood and clay, dance over my Lady Lee. Build it up with wood and clay with a gay lady. Okay. Wood and clay will wash away, dance over my Lady Lee. Wood and clay will wash away with a gay lady. Build it up with stone so strong, dance over my Lady Lee. Huzzah, 'twill last for ages long with a gay lady. March winds. March winds and April showers bring forth May flowers. The balloon. What is the news of the day, good neighbor, I pray? They say the balloon is gone up to the moon. A cherry. As I went through the garden gap, who should I meet but Dick Redcap? A stick in his hand, a stone in his throat. If you'll tell me this riddle, I'll give you a groat. The lost shoe. Doodle, doodle, doo. The princess lost her shoe. Her highness hopped, the fiddler stopped, not knowing what to do. Hot codlins. There was a little woman, as I've been told, who was not very young, nor yet very old. Now this little woman her living got by selling codlins, hot, hot, hot. I don't know what a codlin is. Maybe it's fish? Swan. Swan, swan, over the sea. Swim, swan, swim. Swan, swan, back again. Well swum, swan. Three straws. Three straws on a shelf would make a baby cry. Oh, no, no. Three straws. Three straws on a staff would make a baby cry and laugh. The man of Tobago. There was an old man of Tobago who lived on rice gruel and sago, till much to his bliss his physician said this, to a leg, sir, of mutton you may go. Ding dong bell. Ding dong bell, pussy's in the well. Who put her in? Little Tommy Lin. Who pulled her out? Little Johnny Stout. What a naughty boy was that to try to drown poor Pussy Cat, who never did him any harm, but killed the mice in his father's barn. A sunshiny shower. A sunshiny shower won't last half an hour. The Farmer and the Raven. A farmer went trotting upon his gray mare, bumpety, bumpety, bump, with his daughter behind him, so rosy and fair, lumpety, lumpety, lump. A raven cried croak, and they all tumbled down, bumpety, bumpety, bump. The mare broke her knees, and the farmer his crown, lumpety, lumpety, lump. The mischievous raven flew laughing away, bumpety, bumpety, bump, and vowed he would serve them the same the next day, lumpety, lumpety, lump. For whatever reason, that raven doesn't like them. And like ravens remember stuff, so that old man probably did something. That or that little girl was a jerk. Christmas. Christmas is coming. The geese are getting fat. Please to put a penny in an old man's hat. If you haven't got a penny, a halfpenny will do. If you haven't got a halfpenny, God bless you. Willy boy. Willy boy, Willy boy. Willy boy, Willy boy, where are you going? I will go with you, if that I may. I'm going to the meadow to see the mowing. I'm going to help them to make the hay. Polly and Sukey. Polly, put the kettle on. Polly, put the kettle on. Polly, put the kettle on, and let's drink tea. Sukey, take it off again. Sukey, take it off again. Sukey, take it off again. They've all gone away. The death and burial of poor Cock Robin. Who killed Cock Robin? I, said the sparrow, with my little bow and arrow. I killed Cock Robin. Who saw him die? I, said the fly, with my little eye. I saw him die. Who caught his blood? I, said the fish, with my little dish. I caught his blood. Who'll make his shroud? I, said the beetle, with my thread and needle. I'll make his shroud. Who'll carry the torch? I, said the linnet. I'll come in a minute. I'll carry the torch. Who'll be the clerk? I, said the lark. If it's not in the dark, I'll be the clerk. Who'll dig his grave? I, said the owl, with my spade and trowel. I'll dig the grave. Who'll be the parson? I, said the rook, with my little book. I'll be the parson. Who'll be the chief mourner? I, said the dove. I mourn for my love. I'll be the chief mourner. Who'll sing a psalm? I, said the thrush. I, said the thrush. As I sit in a bush, I'll sing a song. So I'll sing a psalm. Who'll carry the coffin? I, said the kite. If it's not in the night, I'll carry the coffin. Who'll toll the bell? I, said the bull. Because I can pull, I'll toll the bell. And all the birds of the air fell sighing and sobbing when they heard the bell toll for poor Cock Robin. The mouse and the clock. Hickory dickory dock, the mouse ran up the clock. The clock struck one, and down he run, hickory dickory dock. The bunch of blue ribbons. Oh dear, what can the matter be? Oh dear, what can the matter be? Oh dear, what can the matter be? Johnny's so long at the fair. He promised he'd buy me a bunch of blue ribbons. He promised he'd buy me a bunch of blue ribbons. He promised he'd buy me a bunch of blue ribbons to tie up my bonny brown hair. Hot cross buns. hot cross buns, one a penny, two a penny, hot cross buns. Hot cross buns, hot cross buns. If you have no daughters, give them to your sons. Bobby Shafto. Bobby Shafto's gone to sea, with silver buckles on his knee. He'll come back and marry me, pretty Bobby Shafto. Bobby Shafto's fat and fair, combing down his yellow hair. He's my love for evermore, pretty Bobby Shafto. The Woman of Exeter. There dwelt an old woman at Exeter. When visitors came, it sore vexed her. So for fear they should eat, she locked up all her meat, the stingy old woman of Exeter. Well, yeah, you're coming to visit and she doesn't want you to visit and you're still going to eat all her food. She's not so much stingy as she's like, hey, guy. Sneezing. If you sneeze on Monday, you sneeze for danger. Sneeze on a Tuesday, kiss a stranger. Sneeze on a Wednesday, sneeze for a letter. Sneeze on a Thursday, something better. Sneeze on a Friday, sneeze for sorrow. Sneeze on a Saturday, joy tomorrow. Pussy cat by the fire. Pussy cat sits by the fire. How can she be fair? In walks the little dog, says, Pussy, are you there? How do you do, Mistress Pussy? Mistress Pussy, how do you do? I thank you kindly, little dog. I fare as well as you. When the snow is on the ground. The little robin grieves when the snow is on the ground, for the trees have no leaves and no berries can be found. The air is cold, the worms are hid, for robin here what can be done? Let's strew around some crumbs of bread, and then he'll live till snow is gone. It's like it is like that. We have hummingbirds here year round, and the reason for that is I make hummingbird food, and it's basically a simple syrup made of 1/4 cup sugar and 1 cup water, and you heat them up and you stir it till the sugar's all dissolved, and then you set it to boiling. And then when it starts boiling, you lower the heat down from high and you let it simmer, bubbling for like 2 minutes. And then you shut it off and you stir it up, let it cool down, and put it in your hummingbird feeder, and voila, your hummingbirds will be happy to come and eat it. For a while there, I bought the red hummingbird juice or whatever from the store, but they would come around at first, but then they wouldn't eat it or whatever. And then I switched to just the plain simple syrup. And, we have them all year. Even when it's snowy out, we still have our hummingbirds coming and buzzing around our feeder. So that's nice. Just saying. But yeah, that was the Real Mother Goose book. Enjoyed.